Compton Radio, Golf, Golf, Romeo, 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 taxi for local flight with 2 POB.
Romeo, Romeo, readability 5, runway 08 left hand, QNH 1022.
102208 with a left hand, Romeo, Romeo. Zero 22. Right, so this is still ticking over like a good one. That's good, that's good. Oh look, we can taxi.
What temperature do you need to be up to the taxi?
Into the green, just above 30.
Oh yes, okay.
So we'll do our pre-taxi checks, which are avionics are on, mixture leaned, fuel set to right. Flat check operation, we've got 10 degrees, and we've got 40 degrees, and we've got a little gauge that actually proves that they're moving. So they're good and symmetrical.
Excellent.
DI sync north and that side of north.
That's not what it says up there.
Well, it is to where I'm looking.
Oh, I see. Okay. Is that not to the? Is the north not to the left of that line?
I think that's north and 33, and that's north and 33. So I think they're the same as each other.
Oh, because they're in the opposite direction.
They could
Look,
be.
you've done to bloody confuse me. Carry on, Steve.
Carry on, chaps. That's all right. It's a double check, isn't it? Let's have this closed. This is the other thing. If we're going to lose the engine on takeoff, if you've got the presence of mind, could you get rid of the canopy? You yank that bloody hard to break those feeble little wires.
Yeah.
And then you throw it away, push it away.
You don't have to do anything with this at all.
You don't have to do anything with that. But if we're landing normally, then to open it, you just pull that back.
Right. Okay.
But getting rid of the canopy could be handy because if it's a field, we're almost bound to turn upside down. Oh, and on the subject of which, there is a hammer there. So if we are stuck upside down and the canopy's still in place,
yeah,
you have to hit it bloody hard, but you'll get through the canopy that way.
Okay. So if you have engine failure on takeoff, I pull that.
It would be quite nice, and then do the rest of the stuff about protecting your face and bracing and all of that sort of stuff. I'll do the panicking bit, you be calm and quiet and get rid of the canopy for us.
I like that.
And dismount backwards, not into the prop.
It won't be there, we'll be upside down.
Yeah, that's right. Good, taxi light on. 08, left hand, let us taxi. So we turn, and the compass moves and the DI moves and they turn and slip. And we turn back. Compass moves and the DI turns and the turn and slip. And the brakes are there. And you've got brakes on your toe brakes if you wanted to test them.
They're the things at the top, aren't
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And then when you let go, we'll roll.
Okay, because that's a fluid running wheel, presumably. The braking is done on each individual fuse. Yeah, because on mine it's just steer.
Oh, I see, yes.
Doing my little toy.
Means you can turn on a sixpence if need be. We've got that on standby. I'm going to start getting my straps done up while we're...
Okay, I think I'm done, actually. I feel as I'm well strapped in. I don't know how you tighten the side straps, but...
It's the same, it's just a...
Oh. I'm so fat, there isn't actually much of a chance of being able to pull them up, Steve.
Oh, they're properly tight then.
Smart ass like you know.
So I can put it in the checklist. Check stripes so tight or the passenger's fat enough.
That's the one.
Right, So, we'll do the run-up. The parking brake is on, fuel set to both. CHTs and oil pressures, temperatures good. Mixture goes to fully rich. Throttle, we wind it up to 1800. And then we exercise the prop and we bring it down to 1300, and when we do we see that the oil pressure changes, the manifold pressure changes, because it uses engine oil to actually do the magic. And
this is a
constant speed prop.
Oh right, okay.
So this lever is telling it how fast I want the actual prop to go round against some springs, and when I change it, engine oil is removed from the... that changes that pressure.
Okay.
I've lost count, one more for luck.
Yeah.
First flight, you do 3 of them. So that's that bit, and then the next bit is up to even noisier. Check the mags.
What a drop do you expect on the mags?
About 50, and the same for both. Engine heat, which is bizarre, because it's not carb heat. Engine heat is just an alternate sort of air. Engine heat, bolts, pressures, sucking. Does it tick over?
Do you have to use carb heat when you come in for
No, that's right. You just never touch that. I think you would only ever touch that if you thought you had ice in the inlet.
Okay.
In the actual filter.
So you've got no kind of carb heat at all?
No.
No. Okay.
That is an engine heat. So the air that goes in when you pull that is warmer, but it's basically just an extra hole because the air filter is under the prop at the front. So I suppose you could get it covered in snow or something, and there's another inlet.
But no heaters at the front of the carb or anything like that?
No.
Oh, well, you've got injection, of course.
You've got injection, so there's no carb.
No.
So pre-takeoff trims. Rudder is set to that. Flap is set to 10, and it deploys.
Yep.
Mixture is fully rich. Prop lever is fully fine. Friction lever applied. Engine heat knob in. Mags are both. Fuel. Boost pump. On. Alternator. On. The lights out. T's and P's in the greens. That one and that one and that one. Lights. Taxi off. Landing on. Heater heat not required. Instruments DI sync. We've just had a massive turn, so that's closer to east than 6. That's closer to east than 6, so that'll do for me. Transpond. Controls full and free. Canopy closed and locked. Harnesses, straps both pilots. Takeoff time is going to be noted. Departure clearance, don't need one of those. So, if there's a problem with the engine during takeoff, I shall close the throttle and I'll put it back on the runway. If there's not enough runway, I'll find somewhere beyond there, and choosing to go through a hedge rather than stall.
If you're still on the runway, shall I leave this where it is?
Yeah.
Because you don't really want that.
Not likely to turn over. Right, we'll check that in a minute, but we'll tell them what we're doing. Golf Romeo, Romeo's lining up 08.
Wind is east southeasterly at 5 knots.
Nothing's coming down final. Nothing is coming down final.
No, clear.
Are you happy to go?
I'm quite happy to go.
Right, full power. Greens. Size alive. 400 meters. He flies.
Oh God, this is shit.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Oh, things we do to pass the time on.
I know. So, speed, safe, height, safe, flaps going, flaps gone. can start making a little less noise now.
At the moment, you've still got the propeller on fine.
The propeller's still on fine, so I'm going to come back to the pressure on 25, boost the manifold on 25.
Yep.
And that should leave the RPM at 25 for a little while. Makes it a little less noisy.
So when you lean up, do you do it until you get just a slight blip and then push it forward? Is it as scientific as that?
It is, and actually we've got that as well, the fuel pressure gauge. So, and this is the thing I wasn't shown in my training. And I've used a huge amount of fuel during training, because it should be lean now really, it makes a difference. Look, 6 down to 4. We're not...
What do you want it at?
As low as it'll go. What I've discovered...
As low as it'll go without it going... Chug, yeah. Okay. You're certainly making very good climbing time. And what is it, 1,000 feet a minute?
That's about 800, isn't it? Yes. This is at the best climb. And this isn't off. This is about 80% power.
Yep.
I'm not very good at the percentages.
Yeah, that's fine. But that would be sort of near your optimum without actually using a load of extra fuel.
Yeah. And then I switch the boost pump off, and that'll save a bit more.
Yep.
And then I'll pull the top. I'll pull the power back to 23. Or 22.5, because when I pull it back to, when I pull the prop back to 23.
Are the voices recorded on that as well?
Phrases, yeah.
Go fuck yourself, Steve. Oh, now we got that sorted out.
Oh, good, yeah, okay.
Can't get any worse than that, can it?
No, it can't. Not yet, anyway. And if you want to have a play with the stick, by all means, we're in a slight ascent.
Okay.
I'll take that to one.
If you'd like, just for a moment. When you turn, how much necessity is there for?
That's why I'm giving it to you.
Oh, okay.
Give it a little bit of a wobble. We can't do any harm. I just want to... I'm going to pull off down towards Dorchester without getting there, probably. And so one of the first things we'll do before we...
Where's the slip? Where's the slip?
There.
Oh, okay. So if I go around this way... Okay. I don't need to put very much rudder in at all, really.
I'm terrible with rudder.
Well, you don't need it.
Well, you seem not to. I mean, I use it more in aeros, but my instructor was telling me that you've just got to get better with rudder. So when I go back to it, I want to be shown how to do proper.
Feels very stable. It's a lovely platform, isn't it?
It is lovely.
We're supposed to be still climbing.
Yeah, just a gentle climb because we want to get to about 4 before we do any hooning about.
Okay. So we're about 500 feet a minute.
That's not bad.
Okay.
What's the word?
Where's the airspeed?
There.
Thank you.
That's 90.
And what?
Wing over. Can you fly a wing over?
Get away. I'm a microlifer. It's against the law.
It isn't. You can do wing overs in anything because it's not a high G maneuver and it's good for your rudder and I can't yet. Last couple of times I've tried it, it all went to ratchet and I didn't like it at all. And it's really quite simple. It's a climbing turn that when you're 90 degrees off, it's another word for it, it's a canyon turn. It's a good way of turning around and using as little width as possible.
But do you do speed? Do you drop the nose and when you do a 90 degree?
What, for a wing over?
Yeah.
If I remember rightly, because I've read about it a lot, it's not. You don't need the speed. It's all about turning around. If you're flying up a canyon and you suddenly realise you need to turn around, you get yourself as close to the rock on one side. You put yourself into a 45-degree climb, and then you start doing things with the rudder and the aileron, such that when you're at 90 degrees to your original path, you've almost got 90 degrees of bank on. Yeah. And you've gone light because you're not actually pulling any light, and then basically you've turned around in as little width as possible.
Yeah, I see. Yes.
Because what we do...
I'm going to do a right-hander, is that alright?
Yeah, go for it.
Nothing behind us?
And if you want to make it a little steeper, then give it a pull. In fact, I should have pressed that earlier on.
Where's my straight and level?
That's that one. see.
I'm a bit high then.
Nice crop circle.
Oh yes. Now how do I know it? No, I'm a little high, aren't I? Oh, wait a minute, I'm looking at this, aren't I?
Yeah, don't pay any attention to that one.
Which one shall I be paying attention to?
Altitude, turn and slip, and that one.
Which is altitude?
That's altitude. That's the speedo. That's the rate of descent.
Oh yes, okay, fine. So we're still climbing, okay. Sorry, it's a bit all over the place.
Alright?
Can I do that again?
Yeah, by all means. And if you want to make it a steep one...
Well, I just don't want to lose height, so while I'm doing it... Yeah, a little bit more stick back. I am definitely losing height. That's better. Okay, straighten up.
As you like. Because one of the things... For this particular sortie, I want to get better at identifying a line feature. Because I want to make sure that I'm coming out in the right direction.
Need to come around a bit more, actually. I'm just watching the sun, and
yeah,
I think we ought to be over there somewhere, really.
Yes. I mean,
there's Portland, I can see.
We've got Blandford behind us there.
Yeah, and Portland ahead, or to the 10 o'clock. All right.
And we've got quite a long time. We've got as long as we like. We've got as long as we like. And we've got 3.4. So if we let the climb keep going towards 4.
Okay, where am I? Yes, I need to bring that back a bit. One is still at 500. Oh, that was a bit keen.
The thing is that I found during my conversion is that because it's a constant speed top, the airspeed is really important when even when you're just messing around with cruise, because you know, as a pilot with a fixed pitch top like I've got and like I had, you get alerted to the fact that the aeroplane's doing something wrong when it slows down. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you've got your head down and suddenly it starts going slower and slower, you think, oh Christ, I'm getting a bit slow, because you're probably going up when you didn't really mean to. This prop doesn't get slow. The aeroplane gets slower and slower and slower, and the engine noise never changes. And this, I've looked down and seen some real horror stories like you are. I mean, the best climb is 85 and you're now below 80. See what I'm saying? The engine doesn't tell you.
Well, this goes from 1,000 to nil. You know, it takes a bit of... What?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, oh, it's all quite true. I've been watching it in the slow motion.
Flying. I can't be getting it that wrong. I blame the equipment.
Yes. What did you say earlier on? Fuck you, Mike. The equipment's in splendid condition.
Is it? Yeah. That's fearful you were going to say.
Rebound. Request airport information for John.
You're still on Compton, you are.
I was just, yeah. What's that place down there?
Tower traffic, Golf Charlie for Golf Charlie.
Oh, that's Sywell talking.
We'll join overhead.
That is, well, I know all that. That's near my home. That's Malcolm Bingham.
Is it?
With Anstey further on, I think.
Oh, if we go down to the Ho, Marlene in.
No, that's Winterbourne something or another, and that's Winterbourne Stickland, where you see those white houses, I think. There should be a tower on, yeah.
Oh, right,
on your wing is Winterbourne Stickland.
Right.
With Houghton, Winterbourne Houghton nearer to us.
Okie dokie. Because the road coming Dorchester to Blandford Road is ahead of us, so that's Winterbourne on that road there.
That's right, that's Winterbourne
And then
Stickland.
the next one down, so we're getting quite close to David Hawkins' strip.
Well, we must be, yeah. It's just the other side of these woods. So somewhere. I think, no, wait a minute, is that Milton? Oh, yes, there's Milton Abbas.
That's Milton Abbas, the school.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the, looking at the hang.
With a lake and a lovely little village in a tiny little valley. I remember, I've been to a pageant there. Look at that village, completely hidden in that cleft.
Winterbourne Clenston.
Clemston.
So there's, now, oh, there it is, I see the strip now.
Ah, really? Where? There, I've got it.
Now, so we must be flying just about over Anstey, somewhere.
Above who? Anstey.
Where I live.
Go have you done aerobatics before, and how is your tummy to those sort of events?
Well, I can take a certain amount.
Alpha 03 right to land.
Very pretty place, that.
Yeah.
And doesn't the guy, you know, I talked to the chief groundsman and said I'm going to take her off for a flight one day because I want you to see your work from the. He's never seen it.
Take some pictures. I'll do it. I'll get it on your side.
Okay.
And I want to start working up my tummy.
Got a bit of adrenaline in there, eh?
Yeah. Right. So there's nobody around to observe us doing this stuff, so we just have to do it for our own pleasure. Not showing off.
How high are we?
Well, I'm going to go back towards 4, and I'm going to start configuring this for hooning. So, pop up to 25.
Yep.
Power up to 25. I didn't do any sensible leaning then, never mind. Because I want it fully rich now anyway. So 25, 25, fully rich. And we've done a little bit of turning around. I want a line feature.
What's a line for you? How long do you need it for? I mean,
Well, I don't know, I'm not very good at this. This is the purpose of this exercise, to get good at working out where to start and where to finish something.
let me think about that.
There's a, I know they're building a good bit of pipeline over on the other road.
Okay.
And that's left a scar. We must be getting a bit closer to that.
But you actually need a line, do you, rather than...
Well, I want one. I want one that's easy to find. Ah, there's one that's going around. I'm going to do a nice steepish turn this way just for the sake of clearing and to start waking this up. Sun helps as well, doesn't it? That's
well, this is sure.
I can use the sun as a direction indicator, can't I?
Well, it sort of isn't going anywhere, I don't think.
Going round this way now.
Okay.
If there's anybody else out for a little pinball, they should have noticed that we can't be relied upon to be going in a straight line for a while. That's one thing.
Do you monitor Bournemouth or not? You don't
Do I what?
monitor Bournemouth?
No.
Okay.
So, I'm going to... I don't want to be doing it into the sunshine. I want to do some bit of an altitude. And there's... Whatever that road is, has made enough of a line to be a bit of a giveaway. I'm going to, in a minute, I'm going to do...
Well, that Dorchester, that near Puddletown, that Dorchester, Blandford,
Yeah,
Dorchester...
there's a straight enough line going on there, and I've got enough of it here to do a little bit of hooning. Let's put that on. Yep. 4.5. No loose objects. You're not going to let go of that.
Thank you.
Your glasses are attached.
Glasses.
If you wanted to put that away, you could.
I think I probably will, actually. I think I get more fun watching this than proving I've done it.
We've got the video, hopefully. So the first thing is going to be an aileron roll to the left.
Okay. Whatever an aileron... Oh, an aileron roll, right.
Yeah. So we're in a straight sort of line. Then I had my first aileron roll, I was surprised because the first thing you feel is a plummet, is a climb, because I'm going to put our feet on the horizon. Okay?
Right, okay, and then what
And
happens?
then I'm going to stop that climb, and then to get our feet on the horizon, I'm going to pull quite hard.
Right,
And then it's going to go all over that way.
okay.
So we're going to dive to 120.
Yep.
And then pull, check, whack. And I didn't do anything right with the elevators then. And pull out of that.
That felt alright to me.
It was alright,
Was it alright?
but it wasn't quite the right shape. Because what I need to do is, and I'll do another one to get a bit better.
Yep.
Dive for 120.
Yep.
Up, pull, check, over. Upside down, a little bit of much more left comes in, and we lose.
What's a bit of fall there? Did I feel fall, did you say?
I pushed forwards when we were upside down.
Oh yeah, and that because...
There's Dorchester, in fact.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I pushed forwards, so we'll head towards Dorchester and do another one, this time to the right.
So you're doing nothing with the throttle at all?
Nothing with the throttle at all, it's just on full chat and protected because it's constant speed.
And you're on full chat, are you?
Well, as close to, it's good enough.
Okay.
Diving for 120, we're going that way this time.
Yep.
Pull, check, whack. A little bit of forward and lots more rudder, and out it comes.
Oh yes. I felt that was much smoother at the end.
It was, and we didn't lose too much height. Let's
How
have
much
another
did you
one.
lose? I didn't actually watch actually.
Well, it went in at 4.5, and I think it came out at 4.5.
Oh, okay. Well done.
Put on the ball. Another one to the right.
Yep, okay.
Pull, check, whack. Forward. Lots more rudder, and out it comes.
Well, that's bloody good. You went actually, on the completion of it, you went from 4.5 up to nearly 4.6 and then back to 4.
Jolly good.
Or something.
Because that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And we'll do a steepest one back that way.
Okay.
How's your tummy?
Alright.
And I'm going to go for... Alright, we'll use the line of the dual carriageway. I'll get lined up on that as if it was a runway from a distance.
Now why do you need this? It's just so you...
Because I want to see what it looks like when I come out. I'm going to do a loop next.
Right.
And I'm going to try and go in straight, and I'm going to try and keep it straight while it's happening.
Okay, fine.
And the truth will be if that motorway's in the right, if that dual carriageway's in the same place when we come out of it.
So what do you do here? Up to 120?
I'm going to dive to 140.
Yep.
I'm going to pull to 4, and we've been to 2.5 so far.
Okay.
And you'll hear the stall warner, and we'll go over, and I'll lessen it over. And
So it's quite tight then?
it is quite tight, and I'm going to try and remember to look out for my wingtips to check that we're going in the vertical. I'm going to try and make sure that we're not doing that in the vertical.
Okay.
So, here we go then.
Ready?
We'll dive to 140. And pull. 4. Look for the horizon.
Very good. Very good. There it is. And you do it
At 4.5.
see what you pulled.
Jolly good. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the good ones. Another one. Because we've still got the motorway in front.
Yeah, we'll have it better this time.
Okay. 140. Pull.
I forgot to look at the wingtips. I suppose I could have...
Lost a lot of heat in that one. I don't know what happened that one. I'm going to be pleased to look at these.
You didn't get up to the same level of...
No, but... Yeah. It felt different. I was trying to not buy egg-shaped.
Were you slowing down rather on the top of the... I felt maybe you were a little slower on the top of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think I was pulling hard enough.
Okay.
So we'll get some height back. I'm going to have, actually we'll get some height back and wander back towards it because I only want about 2 more. I'm going to have another go and a half Cuban once I've got somewhere to aim at, which is a loop. I'm going to make it a bit more height on this time.
Breaking out of the loop somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, on the down line.
You know how to get out of the spin, do you?
Yes. Actually, the spin, I haven't done much spinning. The one which reassured me the most was the session we spent recovering from extremely unusual attitudes.
Right.
And that was tremendous. Centralise everything, work out which way you are, shut the throttle, shut the throttle if you're in a plummet, open it if you don't know.
Things to the feet, isn't it?
Yeah, look for the horizon. Yeah, go for the horizon and then pull out the dive.
Do you use the rudder at all to come out of it, or do you just...
You just do whatever you normally would do as flying, you know. What we should be doing as normal pilots, anytime you're doing a bit of that, you should be leading it, shouldn't you? It's all...
So if you go into a spin, do you let everything go?
If you let it... I'm not going to say it now, but I think I'll get it right. But if you really don't know what's going on in spin, you just lock everything. So no, you put in opposite rudder once you work out which way.
That's what I mean, opposite rudder.
And
Everything else is central.
then stick slowly forward.
And the throttle shut.
Yes.
Pull out, then you want a bit more. Okay? I've never done it, but I mean, it's just...
Now I'm going to get some...
Oh, there's a nice white line.
There is, isn't it? That's the thing that I was thinking about.
Or is it too short?
It is a bit short now, so I'm not going to mess around going for it.
Oh, okay.
So, actually, no, maybe I shall, because maybe we'll use that one as the half Cuban on the way out. We'll go down here a bit. We've got 5,000, so I want a bit more if I'm going to start 1,000 feet, but I'm not...
So you're just running, this is just running at your top revs.
This is running at maximum fuel, yeah. It's not quite full, it's what I always set when I was being shown arrows.
Where's your airspeed?
Yes. Do a bit more looking around.
Yeah, it all looks pretty good. Nothing seen on the horizon.
I'm going to go over this way a bit so that I can line up for that line. I'm going to keep climbing because I want more height, please.
So what are you going to do this time, Steve?
I'm going to fly towards Dorchester and start a loop and come back flying back and end the loop with a half Cuban so that we'll wind up flying back towards Compton and then I'm going to go back to Compton.
Okay, fine. Good. So the loop starts in exactly the same way. 4G.
4G over the top, on the way down.
140 on the speedo.
Yeah, you're right, that is a short line feature. Right, everything calm, calm, calm. Nobody about.
Clear, right?
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Over the top. Right.
5,000 on the clock, dive for 140. Pull. Did that completely wrong. Should have turned much sooner.
Oh, should you?
Yeah, I'm not thinking enough. We'll stop pissing around, go home.
You need,
Need to do it on my own.
yeah, I'll tell you what, you'll have less weight. I'll tell you, it's a lot easier to do then.
It's your fault.
Yep. Quite prepared to take that on. And you didn't pull the same G.
Didn't I?
You were short of... The last 2 times you did it, the G didn't quite reach the time you did it before.
Right.
That one, and that one isn't up before, so...
Yeah, not thinking enough. So we'll go home, and we'll go home by pulling the top back to 20, the throttle back to 22. Top back to 23. That can actually go back to 20. The mixture right back to there.
When you were doing those arrows, do you have a prop fine, like you do when you're taking off?
What?
When you're doing aeros, what's the propeller? The prop is on fine.
No, it's just, it was set to 25.
No, that's the RPM.
Yeah.
Talking about the wobbly prop.
Yeah, no, that controls that. The blue lever is what's controlling the prop. You're saying I want 25. At the moment I can say I want 22 or 21.
Okay.
That's what actually sets the prop. So during aeros I set the prop 25, put the prop up first, and then you put the power up to 25, and it doesn't go any faster. It just stays at 25. Now I set it to be 25.
Right.
I've got 25 on there. If I pull that back to 20, because we're fairly high, it will come off very slightly. But this is the power.
Yep.
And I'm going from low power. The prop is not changing in speed. You haven't heard it. You know.
What is changing? Your airspeed or your altitude?
What is changing will be the amount of power. So the rate of climb will be changing, or the airspeed will be changing, and definitely fuel consumption will be changing.
Yeah. Okay. So
back to 22 on the power.
But when you're putting it on 25 RPM, full power, what's happening to the prop? Refining.
Yes, it's getting finer and finer.
Yeah. Like you do for takeoff.
Yeah, really fine for takeoff.
Yeah.
And it'll get round to it, when you've not got the air rushing into it, it'll get round to it, it will do about 26, 27 when it's fully fine.
Okay.
Yep. So we get this beam 1 to 2, we'll switch that bloody boost pump off. It was fun enough. I learned something from it, which is I need to concentrate more. And where the hell are we?
I don't know where we are. I'm just a passenger, mate.
One of us will know.
Well, have a look and see.
Here's the cheat box.
We've been going due north.
I think I know where that is, yeah. We've been going too long. I think I know those masts. I think that's Blandford in the distance.
Oh, okay, so that's Bullbarrow then.
Bullbarrow, that's the one. I think Compton's up there somewhere.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can fly it, by all means. You have control.
I have control.
It's a lovely night.
It is.
I want to study that. What did I left it late before I pulled out, and then I thought, when I rolled, I thought, oh, roll, better do rolling.
Well,
not pleased. I'm pleased with the aileron rolls. The aileron rolls are getting a bit more instinctive now.
can you bring the Vox just a shade?
Bring the what?
The Vox.
Loud. Got your own individual volume there.
The volume's fine. It's just I'm trying to get it to break. 1, 2, 3.
If you want to do it yourself, by all means. That's your squelch.
Is that squelch?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1. There we are.
And that was another thing that I didn't do right. Doing the arrows, squelches were going on.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice.
I did, because in the loop, you can be dipping on the stall corner all the way round. And I was having a job getting the stall corner noise over the squelch. So that's another learning.
But you need to turn it back because
Another learning point is I need to up the squelch before arrows.
because the just sheer engine noise and.
Well, it's interesting because it's
Something must be happening.
yeah, the engine's not going any faster. It's to do with G. The squelch goes with G, and I don't know why it should. But it's not changing the air pressure, is it?
No, there's Milton Abbey. Ahead, straight ahead of us. On the nose.
So we're not lost. And that is
Blandford, I expect.
Blandford, so we need to go that way.
Yep. Okay. And actually, of course, you need to turn the squelch down on on the passenger's radio as well, because otherwise I get the Scotch braking through this headset.
That's right.
As well.
Bloody archaic, isn't it?
It's extraordinary though.
Because I find that it's so annoying, because you get it set while you're taxiing around, and then you take off, and in the climb out, one of the first things you do when you should be really paying attention to all this stuff is having like a fucking little tweak of the bloody intercom. I didn't sign up to be a sound engineer, that's a different discipline.
Who gives a damn about priorities, I say. Well, it's very nice. I mean, it flies beautifully. Well, it flies itself, doesn't it? I mean, it
does, because we've got this trim as well, the rudder trim.
Oh, I've got very poor aileron trim on mine, and a bit of elevator trim. But no, I don't have aileron trim at all. Only elevator, and it's very
and a bendy bit of metal.
Yeah, I might have a bit of that, but you know, I don't even have a wheel.
We want to go up that way, don't we?
Oh, okay. We do. In fact, we want to go almost due north, I think.
Yeah.
Well, not quite, but...
It's the difference between going around at 25-25 or 24-24 and going around at 23-20 is that at 23-20 back here, almost at the bloody stop position, that's 29 litres an hour, and when it's at 25-25 it's knocking on 60 litres an hour.
Is it? What a difference.
It's almost double.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not 60, it's bloody high.
Yeah.
And during my familiarisation, didn't touch that, didn't deal with that, and what happened was I went for my exam on full fuel, which I did at 24-24 because I didn't know any better, and completely unleaned, which was basically a little drive around and a couple of stalls and a practice force landing and take me home and 3 landings back at home. Parked, and then I thought, aha, I've got the licence back, hurrah, hurrah. Wasn't any time to refuel it then. I thought, I don't need to, I've looked at all the performance, read up on it, and I've spoken to lots of people, and lots of people have said, we're okay for 4 hours worth of fuel. So then I took off on a little tool. There's an aircraft.
Where?
Below us, on a heading towards us. There.
Oh yes. It's that little two-engine Diamond.
Diamond, yes.
He's training out of Bournemouth.
Not formating with anybody.
No, not at all. Well noticed. I mean, you both noticed, actually.
Yeah.
He might have anti-collision in that, but... well noticed.
What I'm pleased about was the fact that I noticed it, and I said, there's an aircraft, and it was already jangling in my head, it's coming at us. I didn't just say, there's one.
No.
I said, there's an aircraft.
Yeah, very nicely done. I never saw it.
I wonder if he's up for playing.
Well, he's always around here. This is this is his playground. In fact, funnily enough, I've got a friend who really dislikes that airplane. She's a non-flyer because of course those diesel engines clack along, you know, and I think she's a bit pissed off with it because he's always over here. I've had to dodge him once or twice actually in my own airplane. Okay, so that's that hill down near not a million miles from Compton. What's it called, that hill? Do you remember?
No. Oh, the earthworks.
Yes. Trying to remember the name of this village is. Never mind. Got friends that live there.
I was trying to remember 2 things about you, which combined. When you moved to Dorset, was it because you were already a Dorset boy?
Sort of. Well, no, is the answer, but go back 2 generations, and we were for hundreds of years.
Right.
So in a sense, there was an element of that. But I also had a sister-in-law who lived down here, who was very good to me when my wife died. And so I sort of found myself wanting to come down here.
Yeah. And so that was when? About 8, 9 years ago?
Believe it or not, 10 years this
10
June.
years.
10 years since this June. I can't believe it.
And that's when you were getting your license, you were living in the mobile home in the car park, and I had my license for a little while, so that was about 2002?
You're right, indeed. 2000 and the end of 2003, I actually got my GFT.
Right, and that's when you pissed off?
And that's pretty well when I pissed off, yes it was.
And so how did we meet? How did we know that we were both living quite close to each other?
Mary.
Yeah, but how did you know Mary?
Well, I knew Mary because I met Mary right at the end of my time at Rochester. Husband had just died, I think.
Yeah.
And then you or Natalie or somebody told me that she was coming to Dorset. So I said, well, can I help? And she said, well, I need somewhere to live. So I found her.
It was you that found the house?
No, not the house, the caravan.
Ah, yes.
That you lived in first, and then she found the house.
Yes.
And of course, at that time, she was working on that boat, wasn't she, down in Portland?
So it was Natalie the link, basically.
Well, the restaurant was the link.
Yeah.
The restaurant was the link.
Because Mary only came into the restaurant about twice.
Yeah, I know. It's extraordinary. It's just that she'd obviously, we must have, what the contractors were like, they all chatting everybody up. Well, so Mary was she was in the frame, really, wasn't she? So
let me chip up for that one.
So then she bought the house. Well, the first thing was she moved down here, and I had cats for 3 days, and so I'd never ever had anybody's cats again.
No.
Then she bought the house, which you still got, I presume.
Yeah.
Yeah, and whatever that name, Collison Street.
Yes.
Because my wife Marlene, who's been thinking about buying a flat to let,
right,
saw one in Collison Street she really loved it.
Let's say hello to any Compton traffic. Compton traffic, Golf, Romeo, is descending dead side 408.
So that's really how it is. And I met my wife Marlene, as I think you know, because she's a pilot.
Yeah.
Flies a C-42. I met her through old Sarah. We've been married, God bloody near hell, it's nearly 2 years now.
And it's all good?
Yeah, it is actually, very good.
You seem to be having a splendid time abroad. It's just the places you get to.
Well, yes, and funnily enough though, one day follows another, Steve, and at my age, my memory is not very good, I can't remember where I've bloody well been. I had to go back to my blog to remind myself where I was on a given day.
You're discovering lovely new places almost every day, and it's the same bloody place.
Well, it's always a nice surprise, I've got to that age now. But it was lovely. No, the second time we've done it, we did it in Italy last year, Spain this year. Just wonderful. Anyway, show me where Compton Abbas is. Oh, yes. I'll leave you alone now, you're on final.
Yeah, well,
not quite. Hope you're not.
So what we do is we pull the power back miles, so now the prop can go all the way forwards without getting all noisy. Now it's like a fixed wing. Now it gets noisier.
Oh, in other words, you don't have it on...
you go to fully fine for the
fully fine, but it's not on constant speed.
No.
And fuel?
Boost pump on. Out now. On and sufficient for a go-round. Brakes are off. No carb heat. Hatches and harnesses, you're properly attached.
Yeah, properly attached, thank you. Yeah.
Compton radio, Compton traffic, Golf, Romeo is downwind 08. So we'll have 10 degrees of flat. weeny bit low. All flat. My bird.
Beautiful, Steve.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, it wasn't half bad.
Definitely done and dusted by 400 metres. Always nice.
It's a very fast descent in comparison to my own aeroplane. Well, I tend to come in, I mean, I know it's not good practice, but I like to come in a bit lower. You'll say, yeah, when your engine stops, there'll be in all kinds of shit. But, you know.
That was high for me.
Was it?
There was a bit of a slip. Only a little bit of a slip.
You said, actually, we're a bit low.
Well, I was low at the beginning of the base.
Oh, of base, okay, fine, and then you were holding it back. Because you left yourself with quite a short final, didn't you?
Yeah.
Lovely, Steve. I've really enjoyed that. Fantastic. We're back, giving me the urge again. You know,
Good. And all you've got to wait is somebody's coming to inspect your aeroplane and give you another tick.
It's going to be permitted on next Monday. This is your spot here.
Yep. Been polluting the
Do you pay a lot to park it out here?
80.
How much?
80. Need to do our squelches.
80 quid.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
We've been offered a place in a hangar down at Stridge for 150.
And?
Well,
Tough, isn't it?
But
it's bloody nice having your aircraft inside, particularly if you want to do something with it, you know, and you
yes, there is that. And
for money.
our engineer swears that we suffer
By being
by being outdoors.